Hello creators, my name is Sean Hughes and today we're talking about the 70-200 Mark II from Sony. So let's talk about it. So we'll get right into it, man. So why did I pick up this lens? I decided to buy this lens because I'm primarily focusing on sports photography and videography, and a lot of sports photographers, they have this lens in their toolkit. I believe that they have this lens in their toolkit just because of the versatility that you get. When you're shooting sports, most of the times you're shooting either in a gym or a field. And so while you can shoot it with a prime lens, you won't always have your subject at the same focal length or the same distance from you. So you definitely need like a zoom lens so that way you can adapt to what's going on in the action. And so at 70-200, I'm able to get some nice close-up shots as well as get some nice faraway shots at 200 millimeters. So for this versatility of this lens is definitely a reason why I picked it up, and it's something that I know I'm going to use like the next 7 to 10 years. I also decided to buy this lens because I wanted to make an investment into my creative journey, my creative process. This is my first true big boy lens. And so I've been going back and forth about this lens. I was on the fence, but every single time I thought about something different, I've always come back to looking at this lens. And this is definitely one that was on my wish list to get. By no means is this a cheap lens. As it sits right now, it is $2,800, which is a very, very hefty price tag. But as I build this company and as I work towards becoming a sports photographer, I don't look at it as just as a regular purchase. It's definitely an investment that I will get my money back on quicker, sooner rather than later. And so that's another reason why I decided to buy this lens with my own money. Sony did not send me this lens. I'm not part of the Sony family yet. Not yet. I'm working on it. Sony, holla at your boy. I'm gonna be there. I'm shooting Sony. I'm currently shooting on the A6400. So let me know, Sony, man. Your boy needs some help, man. I'm dropping money. I need some help, man. Let me get in the Sony Alpha initiative. I need that. I need to be an ambassador for Sony. Let's get into 3 reasons why I love this lens. Reason number 1 is that it's a very short throw to go from 70-200. All that means is that it doesn't take a wide turn for me to go from 70 millimeters all the way to 200 millimeters. And when I'm shooting sports and I need to get that zoom in really, really quickly on something that's happening, that small adjustment is perfect. I don't want to have to twist my lens 2 or 3 times to get all the way to the end of the focal range. I want to make sure that I'm able to do that very quickly so I can capture those moments in sports. And that's the reason why I love that. So that's reason number 1. Reason number 2, the aperture ring that is on here. Now, some people may have a love-hate relationship with the aperture ring being on the lens. I found that I have used it, I think in 1 or 2 shoots, I've used it. It is okay. It's definitely something that you have to get used to. I am used to doing it on my camera, so I do everything on my camera, so I don't need it on my lens. But if you wanted to, it's there. I do like having an option. I'm all about options. So I appreciate that Sony gave me the option to have it right here on the lens. And also, if you don't use it, you don't have to. You can just throw it in the A. And so that way it stays on automatic and your camera is the one that handles the aperture, and it's stuck there. So it's not something that if you put it there, it's gonna move. It definitely does, it's gonna stay there. So you don't have to worry about that if you're not gonna use it. But that's another reason why I love it. Reason number 3 is the 2.8 aperture. I definitely love having some bokeh on my shots. And all that means is that it's a nice blurry background behind me. At 2.8, I get a nice bokeh. I could have chose for the first version of this lens that came out in, I want to say 2016 is when that lens came out. It was definitely time for an upgrade, and it's still a nice lens, don't get me wrong, but I knew for me, in terms of my creative process and my journey, I'm gonna have this lens for like the next 7 to 10 years. And so knowing that in mind, I knew that this lens, I don't want to have to get this lens and then in 3 years, I really have to consider upgrading it again, when I can just buy this lens and I know I don't have to worry about that for the next 7 to 10 years. And so that's why I opted to get this lens. And at 2.8, beautiful. So that wraps up the 70 to 200 lens discussion, whatever you want to call it, in this video. I won't bore you too much longer. Like I said, I did take this out of some shoots already, and at the end of this video, I'll have like a little bit of B-roll, and I'll throw some clips up of the shots that I've taken with this lens that I absolutely love. Thank you all for watching this video. Subscribe if you haven't. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. My name is Sean Hughes, your creative director, and I'll see you in the next one.